Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to come up with a solution for the rear view camera for a 2019 F-250. And right now, the tailgate is removed, so we no longer have a rear camera. And I found a solution for that problem. Alright, so what I have is a kit that I picked up from a website called CameraSource, camerasource.com, and they make cameras for the Ford vehicles, I think some other vehicles too as well. But this is a kit that allows you to relocate the factory camera to a different location. It gives you this little housing which allows you to mount the camera. You can order just the housing if you want, but I went ahead and ordered the housing with the cable. I believe you can order the housing and a cable for like $200, but I ordered the housing, the cable, and the camera, and out the door the price was like $480. So it's not a cheap thing, but it's a definite solution. You don't have to mess around. If you just order the housing, you'll have to take your camera out, which I don't have a lot of time right now, so I just ordered the whole setup. So they want you to find the center of the vehicle, and then they want you to go about 48 inches high. I believe that's what the instructions said. I'm going to go about 58 inches high because that is about where the camera was on my F-250. They give you a little bit of tape here. What they want you to do is to peel a little bit of tape off the back, locate the camera, plug it in underneath the spare tire, plug it in right under the bumper, right in front of the spare tire, plug that in, and then do a test run. Once you do the test run, you can go ahead and pull the adhesive off, and they want you to just go ahead and put two screws in the front temporarily, so that you can go back in and install two screws going through. One thing that I know is going to be a little bit of a complication with this setup is they want you to drill a 9/16 hole through whatever surface you're mounting it to, so that you can feed the wire through the square hole here. And in my situation, I'm going into the back of a salt spreader, as you saw, and there's not going to be any way for me to drill a hole through the entire salt spreader. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill a little bit of a slit right here, right through the edge, so that the wire, right through the tape here, I'm just going to take a small drill bit and just kind of make a little bit of an opening here so that the camera wire can just feed right through the side there. So that should be good enough. We'll see how that works out. But anyway, let's go ahead and move forward with this install. Alright, so I got everything set up here on the rear of the bumper. There's the camera, there's the housing, and I also got some alcohol wipes. And the goal is going to be to go ahead and clean off this center section. This center part right here gives me about the height of where the handle would be and where the OEM camera location would be, the OEM camera height. And hopefully it sticks out just far enough so that I can see this spreader. But I'm just going to go ahead and clean this off with some alcohol, peel a little bit of adhesive, and then we'll be able to do a little bit of a test fit. So here we go. Here we're going to go ahead and try to take a little bit of material off right here so that we can run the wire. Oh. Alright, so we just took a little bit of material off. Should work out good. Anyway, moving forward. Alright, so now we got to assemble the camera, and they supplied a little bit of tape here. Take these gloves off. Gonna need some fine motor skills. They supplied a little bit of tape here, and I presume that is to hold the camera in place when you put it in, and I believe it goes this way. That hold, or is that sticking? Is it too cold? It might be too cold for that to stick, but I presume it goes this way. And it doesn't really want to stick to that. It's way too cold. Maybe it wants the top plate. It does not want to stick at all to that adhesive pad. It's just probably too cold out. I'll probably just go ahead and warm it up a little bit inside so it can stick. But yeah, there you go. So I got to get 2 screws. They want me to go ahead and use 2 of the screws on it, not all 4, just to hold it in place. So let me grab some screws. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take 2 of the smaller screws, put them in temporarily. There's one. Warm everything up for a bit so that the adhesive can have an opportunity to stick. So I think the whole idea behind that little bit of adhesive is that it allows the camera to stay in place while you get the screws put in, because once you take these 2 screws off the front cover off, the camera's going to fall down. So I believe that is the idea. But I guess 2 screws is enough for now. Let's put them across from each other. Alright, so here's what we have. Oh, great. Got a little scratch on the lens from dropping it, but not really centered of the lens, just kind of on the edge. So I got lucky there. Not cool, but I think I'm still okay. Anyway, alright, next step, clean off the area that's going to take. Alright, so I was able to stick the camera on, partially peeling back the tape, and I'm feeding the wire down through this little hole right there. Alright, inside the truck, and we're going to go ahead and put it in reverse and see where the camera placement looks. Alright, and that's how the camera looks. Now, it looks pretty good, and I'm glad to see that even though I dropped the camera, it caused this minor scratch to the lens. The resolution on the camera is not that high anyway, so you really can't notice any negative effects. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe, should I run with that? I'm going to go ahead and try to position the camera a little bit higher so that I can see if that's exactly what I want. I can see pretty good out the back just the way it is, but if I put it higher, maybe I can see a little more. So I'm going to try that and see what happens. Alright, so I just moved it up a little bit. I want to see if that looks a little bit better, gives me a little bit better view. Let's get inside the truck and see how that looks. Alright, back in the truck, let's see how that looks. Alright, up higher like that, it shows me more behind me, it looks like. So I kind of like that look. Gives me a bigger view, more of a rear view mirror type of look. Either way, I can see the spinner, but I can't see the disc of the spinner. I don't think I'm gonna get that, but I think I like it mounted higher. So we'll go ahead with we'll roll with the higher mounted look. Alright, moving forward, I'm going with this higher mounted look. So now I gotta remove the cover, remove the adhesive, drill the 2 screws in, and then go from there. Remove the adhesive and put it on there permanently. Away with the adhesive. I walled it, looks level. And I did warm up the camera for a while. We'll see if that helped to secure the camera into the housing. It looks like it did, so the camera's not falling right out. So we need 2 more screws, self-tapping screws, one there, one there. One. All right. So maybe 2 notches. Put an actual screwdriver on it so I can see how they feel. Should be good though. figure out what I'm gonna do with all this extra wiring here. I'm probably gonna have to wrap it up a little better than that. But like I say, I did a small relief hole in the side here because I didn't want to go crazy trying to route this wiring through the salt spreader itself. So what I did is I just put a little relief there, little relief cut there on the side so the wire can come out. And from there, I got to figure out how I'm gonna do this. As of right now, the wire's just kind of hanging out, but maybe I'll pull the excess wiring up behind here, tie it all off, and secure it behind the wood here. And this will be my camera for the winter, for the rear. That way I can see behind the truck when I'm backing up, so I won't back into anything with my salt spreader. Alright, now for overview of the entire install. So we got the camera installed with adhesive and screws, pretty secure, doesn't seem to move at all. I just eyeballed it for center and level because I measured the salt spreader, and the salt spreader is pretty much centered within less than a half an inch. So it's pretty much centered. So I just pretty much centered the camera along with the salt spreader, and then from there I tried a couple heights. First I tried this height, which would have been about the height of the original camera right here, and it looked good, but I figured maybe if I moved it up to a higher position it would give me a lot bigger field of view, and it definitely did. Essentially moving it up higher let me see behind me a lot further, and then gives you a pretty good view still of everything. In the camera you can pretty much see this part here. You can't see this, but I'll be able to get pretty close to things just with this. And we ended up drilling a relief hole through the side there so that we can go flush. The design is meant for the wiring to have a hole through, but I didn't want to drill that and try to route this through the actual salt spreader itself. So it's bad enough I got to drill through the poly hopper, but trying to route this wire would be almost impossible through the spreader. So I just made the relief hole here, routed it using tape to secure it to the actual spreader itself. Pretty decent tape, shouldn't have any problems with that. Again, more tape coming down, more tape, then going down through the original hole where the wiring went. Tape underneath, tape in different spots just to hold the wiring because it is just a loose hanging wire. And then underneath here, going under the truck, I used the rubber band to wrap up the excess and a few pieces of tape there to hold it. And then it's just going through the frame holes, just wrapped around the frame hole one time, so if the tape ever fails the wires won't drag down the road. And then plugged in right where the original camera plugged in. So pretty cool install. Let me get inside the truck and show you guys how it works. Alright, inside the truck, let's go ahead and put it in reverse and see how it looks. Boom, and that's what we get. Just like that. We've got a pretty good view behind us, and like I said, moving it up higher just lets me see way further behind me. That's just really nice. And one thing that's cool is when I press the plus arrow here and zoom in a bit, you can really see a good view, a good close-up of the rear camera. So I like how that worked out. Turned out real nice. Now obviously the 360, the true 360 is a little bit off, but I think that's okay. That's pretty close, but as long as I can see behind me, that's exactly what I wanted. Now I can still add an auxiliary camera. They usually run about $250, but this is really good for right now. I have that view where I can see down in the bed, which is not that useful with the salt spreader. But I don't know exactly how to get back. We don't. Oh, that's an interesting point of view, but pretty cool. I got a good working camera now. So anyway, comment below, tell me what you think about this install, and hope to hear from you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.